We're about to put a log v-weir in a pool that we excavated, and we've got the flow bypass on the pool right now. And we get a good day to finish the project. The mesh apron that we put on the underside of the logs, and it'll go upstream of the apex and provide reinforcement and assist in the anchoring of the log v-weir. Once that's down, we'll untie our fabric and unfold it and have it sealed and covered with boulders on the upstream side of the log v-weir. That's good. The log down in position. We have the mesh down underneath the bed. It's below the stream bed. And what I'm going to do now is attach a cable to a rebar pin that goes right through the apex, and I'll run it upstream to a T-bar anchor that will drive right down below the bed, the bottom of the bed. And then we'll be ready to drive our pins in, level our v-weir, and then we can unfurl our fabric and start putting rock in. Very good. We're driving wooden posts in on the end of the wings so that we can use an RDOX spike to hold the end of the wings in place, and then we'll be ready to level the apex, seal it off, and get some water coming over the top. We just finished installing a cable anchor just upstream of the apex, and you can see the wire mesh down at the bottom. We've got our wings leveled and anchored into those wooden posts, and now we're going to untie our fabric and seal it and adjust flow so that we have the apex at the right level. We've got the log leveled and in place, and we've put our silt fabric down and sealed it off, and then backfilled with some larger rock to start with. And now we're filling in with some finer material, and once it's all sealed off, we'll have a pretty good flow coming over this apex, or the crest of the log v-weir here. We have the log v-weir leveled and positioned in the stream, and it's sealed with a liner, and we put rock in, and we'll finish landscaping it tomorrow. These cover habitats we put in are spruce boughs that are wired to posts and then driven horizontally into the bank to provide overhead cover, and it also forces the core velocity towards the tail of the pool. And you can see there's an upwelling at the tail area of the pool, and some of the surface water is coming back towards the apex of the log v-weir. It doesn't look like there's much turbulence there, but if you go into the pool and you put your hand right below that apex, there's a pretty powerful current. And we have our friendly woodpecker who's got a nest up on this tree. And you can see him up there towards the top. Oh, he's way up top on a limb. And his nest is right there. He's been keeping us company all afternoon. Oh, he knows he's being watched. I'm here on the second day of the log v-weir installation, and this morning I'm going to put another cover habitat that would involve a post with spruce boughs mounted on it right into that little area right down there. I've got the post and spruce boughs prepared here. They're all wired up. This is a view of the underside. And they're wrapped with wire at the base. And after I finish that, I'll start landscaping. Finish this pool off. But you can see that it's maintained really good depth since we installed the v-weir. There's a good upwelling, and it's very deep underneath that foam on the surface there. So we'll get at her and see what we can get done today. I put in that spruce bound post on the bottom end there, and laid a bunch of trimmings across the posts on both sides to provide stability. You can see one sticking out the end there. And put down a burlap liner at the back of the boughs, right next to the existing bank, and I put some loam that we had piled up in reserve here, right over there. I put it over top of the burlap to provide a base for the sod that I'm going to put back in.
We have sod piled up over there. And we have a bunch more piled up right here that we're going to put back in. I finished landscaping this pool after I put the burlap down and put a little bit of loam on top. I put the sod back in place, and then I soaked the sod down really good and used that tamper tool to tamp in the sod. That shovel there I used for splashing water up on the sod to get it saturated with water so it would tamp and compact and take all the air out. So the grass is a little bent down, but in a week or so it should be growing healthy again. Later on in the summer, we will plant some willows from our willow fascines around the perimeter of the pool. This sodding, because this is a small spring creek with a limited catchment, I can put this sod back in place early in the spring, like I am right now, and not have to worry about any high water events. If you're working on a stream where there's a rather large catchment and the stream is prone to high water events, you are better off sodding in the late summer period when the water levels are down. Later on today, I'm going to install some cover habitats which work as deflectors. I'll put one right there and another one right there. They'll be similar to the other two that I put in, and what they'll do is speed up the velocity of the flow and maintain a constricted channel. I'll also do the same upstream of the pool. I'll put a couple in. We'll just walk up here. I'll put one right below that pipe on the far bank, and then another one on the far bank right about there, and then the base of this tree works as a natural deflector. And you can see I've got two other ones installed already recently, and another one that was installed last year. And what that'll do is increase the velocity in through here, and when the water goes over the apex of the log v-weir, it'll extend the core velocity to a greater depth and maintain a deeper pool. Also, what I have to do before this is complete is armor the downstream side of the log v-weir. I'm going to haul some large rock in and put in a retainer underneath both wings to reinforce it, and also the rock provides additional habitat for invertebrates and fish. The little backwater that we intended to have, little lateral margin habitat, turned out really well. I may put some woody debris in there a little later on, but I'll see how it holds up for silting.